Hey guys, it's Tekosaur and I'm back yet with another tweaking video aiming to improve your Windows gaming handheld experience. If you've been a PC gamer for quite some time, you may come across fellow gamers asking whether to disable Xbox Game Bar and Game DVR, which are two components of the Windows Xbox app. To put it simply, Game Bar serves mostly for gameplay recording as well as taking gameplay screenshots and highlights, while Game DVR assists in automatic video recording of gameplay with background recording mode and saves it as per your selection. And as you can imagine, this could potentially demand high CPU utilization since they are running in the background, monitoring for activity, and could even lead to some stutters and performance loss. The problem seems related to Game Bar services that keep launching whenever a user runs a game despite their choice of recording or not. So the scope of this video is guiding you through disabling both Game Bar and the Game DVR, as well as sharing some benchmarks of prior post tweaking on the ROG Ally and the Legion Go in order to decide if it's worth doing or not. I want to note here that if you are interested in using Game Bar to capture your gameplay, this tweaking will prevent you from that. But you can still use third-party ones like OBS, etc. Instead, if you are attempting this tweaking, please follow all steps to make sure it's all applied right. I'm also going to show you how to restore those changes should anything wrong happen or if you decide to roll back. So with all said, let's get right into the real action. The first thing I'll be doing is creating a restore point in Windows. To do that, go to the Start menu, search for Create a Restore Point, here press Configure and turn on the System Protection. Hit the Apply and press the Create button. Here you can name it whatever you want. In the end, it will notify you that the restore point was created successfully, which should be useful to roll back any negative effect. Now with our restore point created, go to the C drive, then navigate to Windows, System32, and here search for Game Bar. It should return you these three files. What we need to do is changing the Game Bar Presence Writer exe name to trick Windows into not being able to run it anymore. But by default, it wouldn't let us change its name, so we need to follow this process to have the needed permission. Right click on it and go to Properties, then to Security and Advanced. Here for File Owner instead of Trusted Installer, press Change and here we need to insert the Windows username. To know which one you have, go to the Start menu, click on your profile and then change account settings. Here mine for example is Tekosaur, a local username, meaning I didn't have a Microsoft account to log in. If you logged in using your Windows account, you should write your email address instead. So in my case, I write Tekosaur and then press Check Names and OK. You should see now that the owner has changed to our username. Hit Apply and here it will say that you need to close the object properties before changing permission. So just close the window and reopen it. Now press the Add button and select a principal. Write your username again, press the Check Names and OK. Now check the full control permission box to have full permission to make changes to this file. Now press OK, Apply and Yes. Now that we got the permission we need, head again to Properties, Security, Advanced and change it back from your username to the original owner, which is NTService/Trusted Installer. Press Check Names, OK and Apply. Now on the top bar, go to View, then Show and enable the file name extension options. So with that done, we can go ahead and change the file name to anything except its current one. So I'll just add off to the end for instance. Press Enter, Continue, and that's it. Now the first major step is done. On to the second one, in the Start menu, go to Registry Editor and navigate to this folder above that's related to Windows Game Bar. Here we'll need to change the activation key from 1 to 0 to switch it off. But also here by default Windows wouldn't let us change it, so we need to follow a similar process to have the permission to modify it. So just right click on this folder, go to Permissions, select your username from the list and press Advanced. Then go to Change Owner, write your username or email if you are logged in with a Microsoft account, just like I explained before, press Check Names, OK and Apply. Now we can deactivate it freely by typing 0 and press OK. So with all that done, we can make other minor changes to make sure that the Game Bar is totally disabled. Go to Start menu, search for Game Bar controller settings and here turn off the option for the controller to open the Game Bar. Then make sure that the game mode is turned on, That's because it will minimize other processes in the background while you are gaming. Now again in the start menu, this time go to the game bar itself, then go to settings. In the general ones, disable all notifications and all options found here. In the widgets, make sure that record in the background while I'm playing a game option is unchecked and audio to record is set to none. Optionally here you can also disable Xbox notifications just if you prefer it. Finally here in the shortcuts, here you can disable the option to open it by pressing the Xbox button on controller. Now finally we can close the app. Alternatively to doing those changes on the game bar settings, you can get rid of it altogether. But unlike other apps you install on Windows, this one is unremovable by default. Means if you go to its settings, the removing option is grayed out, so we'll have to manually remove it. To do so, in the start menu, search for Windows PowerShell and run it as administrator. Then run this command that I've included in the video description and it should remove it totally. And now to make life easier, I have prepared some additional registry keys that can be run to disable Game DVR as well as other processes related to the game bar. Now if we open them in the notepad, you can see the first one is disabling the game bar monitoring and the second one is Game DVR and game bar. So we can apply them by left clicking like so. And there are also revert versions if you want to switch those keys back to their default state. Now with everything done, we can just go ahead and restart the system for all those changes to apply. Now's the time to do some benchmarking to see the difference. The GPU driver I'll be using is the latest 780M from AMD website as of this date. As for the power limits, I have set them as 30 watt. And finally the game graphics settings I'll be using is the low preset at a resolution of 720p. So let's get to it. As we have seen, there is a fair FPS improvement for both the Ally and the Legion Go in all 5 titles. I could see from as low as 1 and up to 8 FPS during my test. But any gain, even if small, is very welcomed here. I also noticed less sudden FPS dips, in particularly for the case of Borderlands 3. Now here I'll show you the way to revert all settings to default. In the registry, you can change the game bar presence activation key back to 1 and run the revert registry key versions for the other ones here. As for the game bar presence writer exe, just change its name back to default. For the game bar app, you can reinstall it from the Windows Store just like normally and it would work just fine. So that's it, it's pretty simple. Instead, you can roll back using the restore point we created right at the beginning by opening the restore options and clicking on system restore. Here you can choose a restore point. In my case, it's the game bar and it should restore it back. I also need to note, if you run in the command prompt the command sfc/scan now, which is used to fix any corrupted files in the system, Windows will change back the game bar presence writer exe back to its original name. So if you run that command, make sure to repeat the process. So that was it for the game bar plus game DVR tweak. After watching the benchmarks, do you think it's a good improvement? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section, and also if you have any doubt in applying this tweak, please feel free to ask and I'll do my best to help out. And you can also connect over at the Techosaur Discord server for faster communication. I deeply thank you for supporting Techosaur. If you found this video useful, please give it a like and subscribe to be updated on future videos and become a part of our ever-growing community. Thanks for watching and I'll see you in the next one.